I just want to say it is such a pleasure to be a part of the Division community and to see the Division community coming together and supporting each other and just bringing so much positivity for the future of the Division. With the news that we got yesterday about 1.4, everyone is just super motivated and super excited for the future of this game, and finally it's being put in the spotlight that it deserves. You're seeing articles about how awesome the changes are, where like every article that over the past couple months have been super negative about the things that Massive is doing wrong. And I've gotten a lot of shit over the time that I've been here on YouTube supporting the Division, because people were saying, oh, I'm probably getting paid by them, and that there's no way you could still be supporting this dead game. And I hear that all the time. This game's dead, this game's dead, this game's dead. And now it's the complete opposite. Now that we have some information, some concrete solutions to the problems that are in the Division, people are getting really excited. And you're seeing this uproar of positivity that I haven't seen in such a long time. And it's hit a point like a couple months ago where this community was about as toxic as it could possibly get. And I think part of that was just the frustration with how the game has gone after the initial launch. Like, the game was so fun in the beginning, before gear sets and before NPCs got incredibly overpowered because of how strong we got. It was so fun. Like 1.0.2 has some of my best memories with this game, where the PvP was fun, getting gear, was good, and like the crafting system was relevant, and there was all these things in the game that I wish were, still gave that same feeling that they don't give anymore. And everyone now, like I said, is getting real motivated, and I just want to let everyone know that this is crunch time for Division, like the Division community. Like, this is the time where we need to kind of come together and start supporting Massive. It's been so like long that we've had people just constantly just talking shit about the game and saying that they don't know how to, they don't know how to code in this. I just want to talk about some of the reasons why they've had so many issues maintaining the game up till today. What you got to realize is that the Division is a game that wasn't made by one company. I believe I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but I think it was around like 4 or 5 companies working on different parts of the game. So what you have is this game, this beautiful open world like replica of New York City, where you can go out and you can loot and you can get gear and you can do missions, and you have this beautiful open world experience that was built by 5 different companies. You got to realize that that's really hard to maintain by only one company, because that's not how it works. Like, those 5 companies aren't going to still be working on the game. How it works is Ubisoft gives them a contract where, they do a certain amount of work up until the release of the game, and then those companies move on to do something else. And then you have Massive, who is continuing to work on the game. And when you have the pressure of constantly outputting like content, like we had 1.1 a month after release, then we had 1.2 a month later, then we had 1.3 in Underground, which was, getting released on Xbox and PC, and then a month later it was released on PS4. And then we were supposed to get 1.4 like a couple weeks ago, or we were supposed to get it in September, I think. And that was going to come out with a bunch of new content too. And what you get is like when content just keeps overlapping and just starting to stack up, it's hard to balance things. So their decision to push off content and work on tuning and changing the things that are already in the game was one of the best decisions they could have ever made. Now, if you're completely confused and completely like have no idea what I'm talking about right now, watch my video from yesterday. They released some information about 1.4 that's going to make people very, very, very happy. They're basically revamping the whole PvE world. And I got some comments from people saying, well, I don't really care about PvE. I want the PvP to be better. And let me say this, right? In a game like The Division, PvE is the underlying factor to everything in the game. How do you get your gear in The Division? You get it in PvE. So when you're fighting in PvP, all of your gear that you've gotten was from those times where you're gearing up, and that's just how, you know, RPGs are, how they work. You get your gear through PvE, and then you have the option to PvP at endgame, or, you know, do incursions with friends, or do missions, and you get materials, and you get Phoenix credits, and you get all these other things. But PvE needs to work in order for this community to grow, in order for the Division to be the type of game where people from all standards, whether it's people who grind the game all the time or people who just only have a couple of hours to play a day, they should all have a chance to get to the same place. Now, obviously, the people who grind and put the hours in are going to get to there a little bit faster and have more optimized gear, but it shouldn't be this situation where if you play solo or only with a group of two that you have zero chance of getting the gear in order to progress. That's why I've been reading a lot of people's comments that have said the reason I stopped playing this game was because it was impossible for me to progress. You know, I had to do matchmaking, and then you get matched up with people that speaking different languages, and you have people who aren't on the same page, and they got like music and just white noise blasting through their microphone. Like, sometimes there's people out there, like including myself, like you guys know I'm a streamer. Sometimes I just want to sit back, chill, relax, and talk to my stream while I play the Division, and it hit a point where I couldn't do that. In 1.1 I could, because I could, you know, clear the NPCs in the Dark Zone, and I could do activities alone. You could still like 1v3 people if a group jumped you, and that's just not possible anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people moved off. So even though that these changes don't specifically change my character, since my character is pretty much all decked out in the highest gear you could ever want, I'm excited because this means a bright future for the game. Finally, they have a system that they can build off of and that people can learn to use and learn to, you know, do what they need to do to get the gear necessary. It's not like right now, okay, for example, if I was going to make a video, you guys see in this video here, I'm on a new character. I'm actually leveling up a couple new characters to level 30 because I want to feel the new experience of getting geared up when the 1.4 PTS drops, which is the public test server. So since they're going to be masking our characters over there, I want to get a character that's like level 30 with just barely any gear at all, so that I can go through that experience and see if it will be enjoyable for people to do. But if I were to make a video right now and I was to play solo, I have, let's see how many options I have, right? Dark Zone, can't do it. NPCs are too strong. You don't get anything from the lower Dark Zone that's worth, you know, worth getting or is going to help me out. So it's just not worth it. So I instantly have to go to DZ4 or DZ5 or DZ6. I'm going to get jumped by groups of rogues. I'm going to get killed by NPCs. And there's no one there to revive me, so I'm just going to flop and die. So I can't do that. I can't do underground unless I'm doing hard mode. Even challenging is like, I can do it, but the amount of time that it takes to finish a challenging mission or a heroic mission solo, it's just not worth it. The rewards that you get might not even help you, and if you get all the way towards the end and you die, you lose everything. So these things affect me even though I'm completely geared out. Like when I want to make a video, or when I want to just chill and talk to the stream, or even if I just want to play with another person or two, I just can never do that. So it's important, guys. It's very important that PvE gets fixed first, since it's the underlying and the main, like, legs of this entire game. It's what holds up the entire structure of the game. And I think a lot of people are a little bit like scared, well, they didn't mention anything about shotguns, this and that. I think the thing is, it's hard to understand right now what the changes are going to be, but I'm telling you guys right now that everything is getting revamped. Everything is going to be different in 1.4. The amount of power that you have now is not going to be the same amount of power that you have in 1.4. It's probably going to be considerably lower, but since the NPCs are going to be getting lowered so that they're, you know, they go up linear like they do in 1 to 30, you're not going to notice a huge difference as far as, you know, like the NPCs. They're not going to feel too strong. They're going to feel what they should feel like when you're playing against an NPC of your level. And I think this is going to change the way shotgun meta is and how Sentry's Call works. I think all of these things are going to be completely different when we see skills being lowered in values. And I think they said something about weapon mods getting changed and possibly like nerfed. They want to have less accuracy on guns, which is understandable, right? Like if you look at the video here when I'm shooting the gun, it's, you know, bouncing all over the place, which is how it should be with a shooter. But you can get so much accuracy, so much stability on your guns that you can completely unload an entire clip without it moving whatsoever. It's just like a laser beam just shooting in a straight direction. And because of that, they have to jack up the health of the NPCs. So with all these things being changed, I think you're going to see the PvP, the meta, everything is going to shift. And I think it's going to be more balanced overall, because it's going to give people more of a reason to use assault rifles. Because if SMGs have really high recoil and they're hard to control, they're only going to be useful at very short ranges. Same thing with like assault rifles. Like assault rifles are going to be able to do high damage, but they're going to have that recoil that you should see with an assault rifle. It's not going to be able to shoot like a straight laser beam like it does now. And I think these changes, even though they haven't talked about them, are going to greatly affect PvP in a positive way. And I think since we do have PTS, we'll be able to find those problems in PvP at a very early state. So that's good. That's good that we'll be able to do that, because that's usually an issue we find out a couple weeks after the DLC drops, and by that time it really like is a little bit too late to fix it, because people are already, you know, in a mindset where they have to play the game a certain way. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it's so unbelievably exciting for me, and I'm sure any of you guys who are passionate about this game. I knew this game deserved so much more than it had, and the potential, I always talk about the potential that this game has is unbelievable. You got to think, an open world like RPG shooter that takes place in New York City, it's like, how is that not the best game out there right now? And it's just small things holding this back, and I think 1.4 is going to push us in that correct direction in order for this game to be the best experience that it possibly can. I just want to say to all the people out there that were super frustrated and were super toxic like about the Division and like saying that the game's dead and stuff, like I get where your frustration was coming from. Now, did you deal with it in the correct way? Probably not. And I want to say, I think I speak for most people who are, you know, have been by the, you know, the Division side ever since it came out. I think that they would agree with me that it's important that we bring everyone together, not just the people who stayed positive throughout the entire experience. And it's okay that you were frustrated. It's okay. It's not too late to change your attitude, and too late to, you know, obviously I'm not trying to push you and force you into liking this game. That's not true. But I think there is a large portion of people out there that were very frustrated with the game because they enjoyed it so much at one point, and then it, you know, started going downhill. And it's okay. It's okay to be frustrated, and I'm just happy that this game has the bright future that it deserves, and that we can have something to finally look forward to and know that the game is going to, you know, improve. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let the rest of this video run out. Thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully you guys agree with me. Hopefully you guys, you know, are as excited as I am for the future. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Well, fuck me. They went top of the line with the generators. I guess Sandy taught someone in procurement a lesson, because these suckers can stand up to anything. They're a bitch to retool, and maybe we'll get lucky. What do you know? It's alive. Oh, crap. Cleaners. I thought you took care of these guys.
Hostiles inbound on your position.
Tony, that's more of your people in the elevator.
We don't have anyone else on site.
Then let's clean this, and I'm fucked. That's a wrap. System's clean, board is green, and we got enough juice to light this place up like Vegas. Wanna lock everything down, so no one can come in behind us and fuck this up. You can't help me with that, so might as well get your ass topside. I'll follow you when I'm done. And that's all she wrote.